Sophie's adventure in the forest. Sophie was so excited for the weekend hike with her parents in the big forest near their home. She loved exploring nature and seeing all the plants and animals that lived there. As they walked along the trail, Sophie spotted some deer tracks in the dirt. "Look, deer must have been here," she said. Her dad explained that deer are hoofed mammals called cervids that are part of the even-toed ungulate family. Sophie thought their two-parted hooves were neat. A little while later, a deer jumped out from behind a bush and bounded across their path. "Wow! A real live deer," Sophie said. "Its coat is reddish-brown, just like the deer in my book." Her mom said that deer coats can range from chocolate brown to grayish, but are usually some shade of red or brown. Sophie tried to get a better look at the deer as it leaped gracefully into the brush with its long, powerful legs. She caught a glimpse of its small white tail before it disappeared. "I want to see more deer," said Sophie. Her parents promised she would likely spot more deer before their hike was over. As they continued down the trail, Sophie's dad told her interesting facts about deer. He explained that only male deer grow antlers each year, which they use to battle other males during mating season. The bigger the antlers, the more powerful the deer. Sophie thought their antlers looked so cool and wished she could touch one. Her dad also told her that deer are herbivores that mostly eat grass, twigs, fruit, and fungi. Since they have small stomachs compared to other plant eaters, they select the most nutritious shoots and leaves to eat. Sophie loved learning new things about nature from her parents. But after a while, she started to get tired. She sat down on a fallen log while her parents consulted the trail map. When Sophie looked up, she didn't see her mom and dad anymore. She had wandered farther down the trail than they realized. Sophie started to panic being alone in the big forest. "Mom!" she called out. "Dad, where are you?" There was no answer. Sophie felt very scared. She wasn't sure which way to go to find her parents again. As she slowly walked along the trail, she heard rustling in the bushes. A young deer popped out and looked at Sophie with its big dark eyes. It wasn't scared of her at all. "Oh, you're so beautiful," said Sophie. "I'm lost, Mr. Deer. I can't find my parents. Can you help me?" To Sophie's surprise, the deer nodded its head. She couldn't believe it understood her. The deer flicked its tail, signaling for Sophie to follow it. It led her along a different trail than the one she had been on. As Sophie followed the friendly deer, she told it more about what she had learned. "Your antlers are so pretty. My dad said only boy deer have antlers. So you must be a boy deer have antlers. So you must be a boy." The deer turned and bowed its head proudly, showing off its antlers. "Do you use them to fight other deer?" Sophie asked. The deer nodded again. "Wow, you must be strong," she said. The deer pranced happily in response. They continued along the trail until Sophie heard her parents calling her name. "We're over here!" she yelled loudly. Her mom and dad came running over, relieved to have found Sophie again. "A deer helped me find my way back to you," she told them. Sophie looked around for the deer to thank it, but it had disappeared back into the forest. "It was like a magical forest creature," Sophie said dreamily. Her parents didn't quite believe the part about a deer leading her back, but they were just glad Sophie was safe and sound. On the way back to the car, the deer Sophie had met bounded out of the woods again. It stopped and looked right at Sophie. "Mom, Dad, look, that's the deer who helped me," Sophie said. To her surprise, the deer slowly walked over to her. It bent its head and allowed Sophie to gently touch its antlers. They were smooth and solid. "Thank you for saving me," Sophie whispered to the deer. It bleated softly in reply. Then the deer turned and leaped gracefully away into the lush green forest. Sophie waved goodbye to her new friend. She couldn't wait to go hiking again and have another magical adventure in nature. Her scary experience of getting lost turned into an unforgettable memory thanks to the special deer who befriended her.